There's a reason the home court is considered an advantage, and the proof is in this Western Conference semifinal matchup between the Suns and Mavs. A perfect 6-0 for the home team in this series. And look at that, blowouts, Coach.
Yes. Everybody likes their home cooking in this series, don't they? Unlike in the Eastern Conference.
Every single one of them. So as this series shifts back to Phoenix, our Allie LaForce spoke to Devin Booker ahead of Game 7.
After watching the film, going through this practice, feeling it all out, is there any doubt in your mind that you will be the more desperate team come Game 7?
I think both teams are going to be desperate. You know, it's Game 7, it's win or go home. I think comes down to execution and game plan. You know, I like the situation that we're in. You know, we have 6 games to study throughout the series and what has worked well for us and what hasn't.
I mean, these are the moments you live for. Obviously, Phoenix is the best team in the league in the regular season, obviously at home, hostile environment. But, you know, they also say Game 7 typically goes to the best player, and I believe we had that in this series.
Because this, Coach, not a list that you would like to be on. The winningest regular seasons followed by early postseason exits since the playoffs expanded to 4 rounds in 1984. The Suns, as you may remember, led the league with 64 wins this season. That'd be right about the middle of that list.
Yeah, they don't want to be on that list right there. Those are some good teams on that list, though.
Yeah. So before we talk about what the Mavs got right, let's talk about what the Suns got wrong. 13 and 19 for Chris Paul and Devin Booker, respectively, and an especially tough stretch from the field for Book.
Well, I think sometimes we act like when great players have a bad game, it's just them. No, give Dallas defense. Look, Jason Kidd has got this Dallas Mavericks team playing defense, and the thing that I love about it, he talks about Luka participating. Because in the past, Luka was not aboard when it came to defense, but Luka understands if you're going to be a great player, you got to play both sides of the ball, not just one. So give Jason Kidd and this defense credit. They're causing Devin Booker and Chris Paul to struggle. They're not doing it on their own, but because they're putting size on both of those guys. You're putting size, athleticism, guys with long arms, and they're just as quick, if not quicker, and they're picking you up 94 feet, and they're wearing Chris Paul down. And he's having to expend so much energy to get to his spots. Look, think about this. Chris Paul is turning the ball over at an unprecedented rate. We've never seen Chris Paul turn the ball over like this. So it's going to be important that Monty Williams and that coaching staff do something to get Dallas off him so they can get him free so he can get in the paint and start creating for others. 9
points, 6 assists, and nearly 5 turnovers a game in just the last 4 games.
You're talking about
for
Chris
CP.
Paul.
Right.
Yes.
One of the greatest who have ever played that
All
position.
time. Yep, turn the ball over. But the thing about the playoffs that I love is this. It doesn't matter. No one cares who you are, what you've done, or what your resume is. It's game to game, it's series to series. And if you playing against a team and they spot a weakness, and that weakness is in one of your great players, they're going to attack it. So that's what I love about it. No one gets a pass come playoff time.
Do you remember the last time Luka played in a Game 7? He almost single-handedly beat the Clippers.
Yes.
We have footage from that evening. Again, almost.
Yeah, but 46, 14, and 7. Wow.
Luka Doncic has played in 3 elimination games in his postseason career. How, Coach, is a player's mindset different in an elimination game?
Well, I just think it's different. If you're a role player, you're trying not to make mistakes. You're trying not to be that guy. If you're a great player like Luka, you don't care. You have no fear because if you play bad, so what? Who's going to really fault you? This young man is living in the pain. If his size, and people forget, Luka is a better athlete than what you give him credit for. And he's living in the paint right here. You would think he's not the quickest guy, the most athletic guy, but because of his ability to take you off the dribble and attack your angles. And then again, he makes enough long-distance shots to keep you off balance. And people say, well, make him shoot threes. He's not shooting a good percentage. It's not how many you take. It's when you make them. And if you're making them late in the game to break a team's back, hey, keep taking them.
Well, when we come back, we'll look at history. The Celtics have obviously seen their fair share.
Yeah, in that building. Yeah.
So as this semifinal series between the Bucks and Celtics shifts back to Boston, here's more ahead of Game 7.
Game 7 is a new story. The back's against the wall, elimination game, so you got to come out with the mindset, like kill or be killed, survival of the fittest. We don't want to be the team. We don't feel like we're the team that should be going home. That's 2 words in basketball in Game 7.
Not to make any excuse, I'm not the guy to make excuses, but we've been playing without Chris, and I believe as a team, like we gave everything we had in 6 games. Like I haven't seen one of the 6 games that we played that I was like, I went home and I was like, damn, we didn't give enough effort. The effort is always there, so hopefully the effort can be there in Game 7 and have a little bit luck on our side, and we can, win the game.
I mean, you got 2 juggernauts going at it. It's tough. It is what it is, but we got home court. We're coming, bringing it back to Boston. Being in the Garden is a place you don't want to be on the road in the Game 7.
Because the Celtics are among the most storied franchises in league
They got
history.
that leprechaun in that building somewhere. I'm telling you, he does tricks Game 7.
Look at this. Jason Tatum joining elite company alongside these Celtics, scoring the most points in any elimination game. And it had been 20 years since we had seen anything like it. Game 6 is being called a signature game for Jason. Coach, what would you call it?
A signature game. Look, we had thought we had ran out of superlatives when they played Brooklyn and the way he played against Durant. But then you playing against Giannis, the most dominant player in the league physically. And Tatum has done more than held his own. This is a 50-50 draw between these guys. It's like a heavyweight boxing match. And I don't know who's going to win, because if you think about it, both teams have won on each other's court, so home court has been more of a disadvantage than an advantage. And so you would think in a Game 7, Boston has an advantage in that building with that crowd. But wait a minute, man. Maybe that pressure of being at home and quote-unquote supposed to win because you're at home, maybe it may be a little too much.
Game 1, Game 5.
That's right.
But Marcus Smart in Game 6 led both ends of the floor. What is it that made him so effective?
Well, I just think he has a short memory. He erased all the things that happened the game before that. He came out, he was aggressive, and he understands this is a series. Forget your shooting percentage, forget mistakes. It's the team that endure and then plays until the end and don't give up. And Giannis said it best. These 2 teams have played hard every game. Now, either coach at the end of this series, it's a shame that one of them going to have to lose, but you can go back and be technical about we could have did this better, we could have did that better, but at the end of the day, what you want is for your team to compete for 48 minutes, and these 2 teams are doing it.
I'm glad you mentioned Giannis, because he also made history, becoming the first since our Shaquille O'Neal to drop 40 and grab 20 in a postseason game. These are the last 4 instances, Coach, as you can see.
Only one guy.
Yeah. What, though, did Giannis's performance say about his sense of urgency in closing out this series?
The thing that's amazing to me, we always talk about the things that he can't do, but the things that he does better than anyone is he's just relentless. I've never seen a guy this skilled, this talented, play as hard as he does on both ends of the floor every single possession, and that's the thing that separates him from everybody. He is just relentless. He's going to keep coming and bringing it, and you got to meet that, and I think Giannis has brought out the best. At the end of this series, the Boston Celtics, especially Tatum, Grant Williams, Al Horford, Robert Williams, if he plays, all the guys who've guarded Giannis, they're going to go back and lay their head down and say, you know what? We played against a beast in this series.
Okay, then safe to say, safe to imply, Giannis has to have some help in Game 7, right?
Yeah, they need Chris Middleton. I mean, it's unfortunate that Chris Middleton is out right now, but they need Drew Holiday. I mean, look, Drew Holiday made some spectacular plays in that Game 5 in Boston to win the game, to solidify, but they need his offense right now. He's got to get that outside shot going. They need others to start knocking down shots, because think about it. They are building a wall, a fence, a gate, or whatever you want to call it, a dam against Giannis, and he's finding cracks in it. He's going over, under. But at some point, he needs some others to knock down some shots, to loosen up that defense against him so he can be more efficient.
Well, after the break, we've got another Game 7 to talk about. We've got this one in Phoenix.
That's a bad man right there.
Very bad one, hosting the Mavs to see who's headed to the Western Conference Finals.